Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. Diddy winds up entangled by and by in a whirl of debates, this time concerning claimed mysteries about his. These tales have followed him for a long while, drawing consideration from individual big names who either support or go against the thought. Now it appears Usher has entered the fray, as per undisclosed sources. Usher has revealed how the spilling of Diddy's alleged mysteries prompted his hospitalization. Some ladies didn't show up. Okay, what I said is that there were exceptionally inquisitive things occurring, and I wasn't guaranteed to comprehend them. Apparently, Usher is presently taking conclusive action against Diddy, and fans trust that moving ahead is the only option for Puffy. Hollywood has seen a total circle back as of late, with superstars joining to cut down Diddy. Searches unequivocally purportedly indicate that Usher has likewise advanced his alleged proof, which appears to be a poorly conceived notion for him in 2015. Attendant was supposedly spotted interestingly since going through his $6 million man-foot. Medical procedure reports uncovered that the vocalist showed up totally baffled as he explored Beverly Slopes, with props feeling about Diddy being on the DLSO, on the off chance that there's one individual who's continuously discussing the way in which Diddy is on the DLU. Understand what? Y is going to tell you when he sees Usher's state of mind of discontent was apparent in a few recordings he shared on Instagram posts about medical procedures where he lay in bed looking hopelessly at his foot, plainly exhausted prior to undergoing surgery. Usher posted extra recordings, including one where he declared that he was going to be reconstructed. Better, more grounded, quicker, likened to the Bionic Man from the notorious 7S Network program. I will say this, I'm a very certain man, and I understand what I can do. I'm not a copycat, I'm not a devotee, and I'm a pioneer anyway. It was supposed that Diddy might be purportedly engaged with Usher's hospitalization. Individuals accept that his recordings, his looks, and his nonverbal communication all point out that this happened all since he discussed Diddy's flavor camps openly in earlier years. There were bits of gossip recommending that Diddy had an implied relationship with Usher during Usher's young years. Supposedly, Diddy and Usher shared a bed when Usher was 15 and Diddy was in his late 20s. Regardless of Diddy's endeavors to minimize what is happening, many find it challenging to see any conditions wherein it would be thought of as proper for a grown-up like Diddy to impart a bed to a juvenile. Attendant as Usher seems as though he just got off a goddamn plane off the nursery stage, which is my sibling here. From the very beginning, we used to awaken, and I mean, damn, to this end. Rappers like 50 Penny have taken punches at Puffy, particularly with respect to reports of all-male gatherings he purportedly coordinated which supposedly elaborated more youthful men, including Usher's involvement with Flavor Camp in a meeting on The Howard Hart Show. Usher thought back about his initial days in New York City, imparting experiences into living, to Puff Daddy as a teen, and revealing insight into the gatherings and get-togethers at the alleged Flavor Camp during the Howard Hart meeting. Usher alluded to his openness to the way of life without diving into explicit subtleties. He suggested the enthusiastic idea of these occasions, communicating vulnerability about completely taking part and enjoying them. I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year. That is an insane thing now. That was Lareed's thought, right? We're sending you over to something many refer to as Puffy Flavor. Camp, as a teen attendee, found mentorship in Sean Brushes, otherwise called Puff Daddy, after signing with LaFace Records and moving to New York very early on to team up with Diddy Usher. Mixed work with social encounters under his coach's direction. Past their expert undertakings, Diddy permitted Usher to share in his excessive social events, meaning to imbue the youthful vocalist with a more tense persona. In a 2011 meeting, Usher, who now guides Justin Bieber, shed light on Diddy's longing for him to embrace a more restless picture. Considering this experience, Usher recognized that, while Diddy's vision might not have promptly prompted accomplishment with his most memorable collection, it laid the foundation for his getting through his 18-year vocation. Moreover, Louisiana Reed, the president of LaFace Records, uncovered that Diddy played a critical role in convincing him to hold the youthful attendant by the name. When contemplations were made to drop the growing star, he said, I needed to drop him. I needed to go bankrupt with him. I made him extremely upset. I made his mother extremely upset. It was an extremely extreme period in both our lives, he added. Then somebody shared with me, don't be a simpleton. Don't sell your stock in Usher. He's actually going to be a star. Evidently, Usher began partaking in sex with Diddy when he was only 15 years old. What is happening is generally perceived as unlawful in the US and different nations. Furthermore, it has been guaranteed that empowered attendance contribution to DNA during his teen years. Usher has fervently kept any goal from sending his own youngsters to a school like one related to Diddy. You're a father. Currently, would you at any point send your child to Puffy Camp Damnation? No, it was likewise supposed that when Diddy was in his late 20s, he and Usher used to rest in a similar bed around evening time, in spite of the fact that Diddy attempted to deal with the circumstances and make it sound less bizarre. We can't think of one justification for why it would be fitting for an adult Diddy to be dozing in a similar bed as a young attendant. He used to really wrestle off the spot since he used to constantly rise and shine early. One of the most extravagant additions to the impact of the circumstances is the way that Usher's folks were completely unaware of the difficulties and encounters their kid was going through. Your folks were J. B. L. They had hardly any familiarity with this past, and Diddy has ended up at the focal point of a few unconventional reports. One vital case includes a companion of Puma who was utilized close by Diddy at the time and purportedly saw Diddy drawing in Inion's movement with Christopher Williams. The disclosure of this occurrence through a stunner tape probably horribly affected the representative, who was strolling in, and when she strolled in, she saw, Christopher Williams performing on Puff as per Panther. Her pal was constrained to leave the room since Diddy and Christopher Williams showed no indication of ending their meeting, and curiously, the fans' responses to these divulgences weren't as expected as one would expect them to be. I find it particularly unfortunate that Diddy is reliably blamed for having individual K and peculiar HS experiences that different men in the business have blamed him for, and some way or another, he has been moving away without being evaluated to address such serious claims. I surmise the bits of gossip are valid, and many individuals truly dread him. As per sources, Usher uncovered that Diddy has an example of drawing in with youthful people. Likewise, Diddy has a particular act of basically embracing youngsters and presenting them to the way of life of a hip jump second. This includes late-night social affairs, get-togethers, and different exercises. Usher's own experience highlights this example, as he was just 10 years old when he moved to New York and started living with Diddy. I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy anyway. This didn't stop the bits of gossip. There have been reports flowing on the web that Sean Diddy likewise gave Usher Raymond a communicable infection when he was 15 years of age. The wellspring of these tales is muddled, but some conjecture that they depend on Usher's confirmation that Diddy utilized youths to take him to wild gatherings when he was a youthful youngster, and you will go to Puff Daddy he's going during the 90s. Puffy's place was just loaded up with constants. While there is no tenable proof supporting the case that Diddy gave Usher any communicated illnesses or participated in any contact with him, Usher has been entangled in fights in court confronting allegations of contaminating accomplices with her. However, he has reliably denied these claims and settled most cases through out-of-court settlements. In regards to Diddy, there is no open remark on the reputed relationship with Usher. Diddy himself has experienced lawful issues, remembering his contribution to a club shooting in 1999 and an on his child's football trainer in 2015. Much proof has suggested that Diddy pressured Usher into taking part in improper exercises or had a fixation on unambiguous topics. There was a claim by a young lady, a fan, who laid down with Usher in the wake of meeting him at one of his shows. The lady won a court triumph, demonstrated that Usher purposely gave her a sexually transmitted disease. There's a video out with P. Diddy, Usher, and Kevin Hart, where Diddy neglects it out, likely deliberate to humiliate Usher, so that both of them get up toward the beginning of the day and battle about corn drops. P. Diddy infers that he and Usher went through the night together, and Kevin Hart, expected to be humiliated, rapidly redirects the conversation. Yet there are claims that Usher is a man, that he has given sexually transmitted diseases to a few ladies, likely men likewise, and that he has a court request against him not to spread his sexually transmitted disease once more or face prison time. He's answered the claim from the one who guarantees that they connected multiple times this year and that he really gave her herpes. She says, okay, that is what. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.